Brothers in Christ, we've all heard it before that God created us for community. But for many of us, the struggle isn't wanting friendship. It's knowing how to start and how to build an intentional friendship with godly Christian men. Brothers, for most of us, the problem is that we're passively waiting for friendships to magically happen. But that is not how friendships are made. So in the clip that I'm about to show us, my brother Mark is going to be sharing how we can put ourselves out there and how we can intentionally build friendships with other godly men. So with that being said, I hope you are truly blessed by watching this video.
So many people just don't send the text message. They don't ask. And it feels a little weird. Like, I can just name it, right? Like there's a moment where you're kind of like, I want to get to know this person, but I don't know how to start.
Yeah. You're like, hey, Mark, can we get coffee sometime?
So,
you're like, why am I so nervous?
I know, yeah, it's weird, right? But I think it's because it's vulnerable. And that's something that I would say is core to masculinity, is embracing vulnerability. Mm-hmm. Like, if men, we need to be vulnerable. We need to recognize that we have needs that we can't provide and sustain on our own. And that we need other dudes, we need other people in our lives to meet some of those needs. So I'll give you an example. I moved here to Southern California about 3 years ago now, and I'm from the Midwest. I knew nobody coming out here. But I was at this conference, and I met this guy who works at another school in the area, and he had mentioned to me offhandedly, oh, you're moving to LA, like, that's awesome. Look me up when you get out there. So I moved out here. I moved out here by myself. My wife and daughter were staying in the Midwest for a month while I was getting settled into the job. And I had that weird feeling of like, I'm by myself most evenings when I'm done with work. I'm settling into the house. Wonder what he's up to. I wonder if he meant it. Did he actually want to get together with me? I shot him a text and I said, hey man, I moved into the area. Would love to grab dinner. I've got it. He was like, well, what night is free? I'm like, every night. I got nobody, right? So we met up. We had pizza. We talked for hours, man. He's my best friend since moving here to California 3 years ago now. And all it took for him was to offer. All it took for me was to take him up on that offer. Mm-hmm. And he's a little bit older than me, not so much that it feels like, there's a gap there. Yeah. But what I've appreciated is he's got kids who are similar age, but he's been in work a little bit longer. He's been doing life a little bit longer. I pick up so much from my friendship with him. But when it comes to more specific of your question, like, get in the setting that isn't filled with people at your level, right? So like if you're in college, if you're in a young adults group at your church, that's awesome. You need to have that peer support. I mean, that's my job. It's creating and cultivating spaces for college students to meet. But like, show up for your church's Saturday morning community men's, potluck, pancake breakfast prayer thing. You might feel super out of place, but those guys are going to take you in. They're going to be like, hey, man, tell us about yourself. And next thing you know, one of them's going to be like, oh, your car's making a funny noise. Let me help you with that. And now you've got someone helping you with a tangible problem, teaching you something that maybe you don't know, but also just doing life with you. Show up for your church's monthly volunteering session in the community. Do a service project. Find ways to get yourself out of the bubble that the world is going to create for you and that you inadvertently create for yourself. I really think that's key. I did a missions trip when I was in high school. And it was right after Hurricane Katrina down in New Orleans. I went down there and I got to know, I was the youngest person. I was like one of two high schoolers who went on the trip. Everybody else ranged from like 25 at the low end, maybe 28, something like that, all the way up to 70s. And the benefits that paid off for the rest of my time in high school, I was probably 16. And so for 3 school years after that, I'd walk into church and I still remember seeing those individuals say hi to me. They'd reach out to me. They'd call me up and check in on me, when I was, raising funds to go on this youth group trip. They were the first to donate. And they're the people that when I go home now to my parents' church at Christmas time and I walk in the door, they've got 20 years on me now, or 20 years on that season, but we're still saying hi because of that experience where I took a chance, got out of my comfort zone, and stepped into a setting that was going to require something different of me than just hanging out at youth group, hanging out with my friends, being with people who are in the same season of life. So I really think that's important.
I love that. I always say that whenever we're looking for people, people are in places. And so, man, God, guide me to the places. Yep. Like if you want to find older people, if you have an older person, we call it the heritage service at our church, go to the heritage service. Yes. Go to the men's hangouts. Yep. And so we're not just looking for people. People are in places. Let's go to those places.
Absolutely.